Hello Sangha, if this is your first time here, then I'm delighted that you are going to take some time to move and to rest and to work into your body. This is day 19 of the practices for 2025. Krishnamacharya, who is here and was my teacher's teacher, he says that we did asana practice, a physical practice, to stay healthy and strong, and that's the purpose of it, to stay well physically. But he says the reason that he lived so long and that he lived to age 100 was the breathing practice. So over the next 10, 11 days that we have left, 12 days that we have left, what we'll do is we'll look at pranayama and some breathing techniques that might help. We've looked at some previously, but we'll go into them a bit more in depth. We're going to do a recovery session for athletes today. Thompson and I, you might see him, just the corner of him on the couch. I've been out running for an hour and a half this morning, so it's a good time to do some recovery. He's looking at me because he heard his name. Okay, let's start lying on your backs with your knees bent and your feet flat. Gently breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Okay, hello Thompson. Okay, and as you lay here, just see if you can soften any tension and resistance in your body. Letting go through your shoulders, letting go through your hips, just so you feel more grounded within your body, okay? Maybe been running or cycling today or hiking today. And then bring one knee up towards you and just hug it gently in. See how that feels in your hip, how it feels in your knee. And then place your foot over your opposite thigh and spread out both arms if you have the room to spread out both arms. And from here, let your knees drift from side to side, okay? Now that may be an inch or two, it might be 6 inches. It may be all the way to the ground. But gently let that rock out. And maybe you let it stay in one side for a while if that feels okay for you. It doesn't have to come to the ground. Okay, just try and relax into it. Let your body gradually unfold. And when you're ready, bring that back to the center. Your foot that's on the floor, bring it off the floor. Clasp both hands around your thigh if you can. If you need a belt, then wrap a belt around your thigh and bring everything a little bit closer to you. Drawing the leg towards your chest and maybe feeling that in your hip and maybe your glutes. Maybe you've been doing a lot of hills and running or hiking or cycling. And then gently release that and hug both knees towards you and walk your hips from side to side. Okay, into this apanasana posture, which is super nice just to take some of the tension out of our lower back. And then let your right foot come down, maybe straighten it, hug your left knee towards you, see how that feels. Okay. Bend your right knee if it's straight. Place your left foot over your right thigh. Spread out both arms. And again, let your knees drift one way and the other way. Recovery shouldn't feel like a chore, It shouldn't feel like, I've got to do these stretches after my run, It should be a really pleasant experience. My teachers say that all our yoga practice should be a pleasant experience. And again, maybe your feet come down towards the floor. Maybe you want to let them rest on one side. Just noticing how that feels. And whenever you're ready, come back to the center. Your foot that's on the floor, lift it up. Take both hands around your thigh and hug it in towards you. Okay. And feel this opening in your hip. Good. And then gently release that. Hug both knees towards you. Roll out to the side that feels good for you. Push into the floor and come up to a stable seated position. and rock your hips a little bit further back. Noticing what's happening for you when you do this. Just easing into, your hips are opening a little bit here actually as you ease your pelvis back. Okay. And then if you can get your fingers in front, and start to walk them around your body. Okay. And you just feel little bits maybe where you're like, oh, actually I want to reach into that. And you can try that on the other side. Maybe you want to reach into that. Try and keep the breath under control, okay? So we're not just moving, we're also trying to recover using our breath, making a smooth inhale, a smooth exhale. Good. And seeing how this feels for you. Good. If it feels okay, keep one hand on one side, reach up with the opposite arm, and come across to this side a little bit. Soft elbow underneath. And then try that on the other side. Inhale this side up and exhale over, soft elbow underneath. And one more time either side. Inhale will go high. Exhale will come over. Inhale will go high. Exhale will come over. Good. And shake everything off. Roll through your shoulders. Okay. Bring your hands towards the front of your mat, your knees towards the center. And from here, let your hips and your shoulders drift from side to side. So a little bit like a fish moving through water. So rocking one way, rocking another way. Letting your head go with it too. And then pull your belly away from the floor into cat posture, and then let your belly come down towards the floor. Bring your gaze forward. Maybe lead this with your nose. So your nose is coming towards your belly. Your nose is coming forward. And then start to mix up that side to side movement and your cat and cow movement. So maybe you are moving side to side. Maybe you're kind of making like a skipping rope movement with your spine, drawing your belly away from the floor, letting your belly sink down towards the floor. Seeing how that feels for you, okay? Just a bit of freedom in your movement. And then from there, can you walk your hands back towards your knees and let your hips rest on your heels? Now, for some people, this is so comfortable, and for some people, it's so uncomfortable. If it's really uncomfortable, try and build it up. Maybe taking something underneath your hips, seeing how that feels, okay? Thompson's had enough. Okay, and if you can sit into a full kneeling position, let yourself come to a full kneeling position, okay? Okay, so one of the areas we can ignore if we're not careful in our life is our feet, and I'm going to do a whole feet session coming very soon. Bring your hands forward, tuck underneath your toes. Let your hips come back towards your heels. Let your knees come up. Okay, so you're getting a bit of stretch in your toes and your feet. This is helpful for plantar fasciitis and things like that. If you get plantar fasciitis, it's kind of just a long recovery, but to kind of prevent it, stuff like this is helpful. And then let your knees come down and your hips rest into your heels. So your toes are tucked under now, okay? And you might feel like, you know, that kind of stretchiness in your big toes. So you might like this, you might not like it. Okay, it depends on your body. Yeah, some people it's so comfortable. It's like everybody's slightly different. Some people it's like excruciating. Okay, lift your hips up, point your toes back, and see if you can sit down into this. Okay, good. So we're just gently easing things off, you know, like we're not doing a big stretch, holding it for 30 seconds. We're kind of just moving and releasing, bringing our mobility back through movement rather than through just like static stretches, okay? Mm-hmm. Bring your right foot forward and allow yourself to do a lunge towards that. And think about trying to take your hips forward and your chest slightly up. So if you go forward, you'll notice that there's less happening here, okay? If we stay up and gently move into it. Okay, and we can take our foot to the side. Good. Gently working into this. And out to the side, and then forward again, okay? Inhale up with both arms. And exhale, come down inside your foot. Now you might want a cushion or something underneath your back knee, okay? For me, I've got a carpet and a rug and a mat, so it's not so essential for me, because we're going to bend that back knee and then let our foot come down. And then the next time we bend it, we're walking our hands towards it, reaching for our foot. So if it's your left foot, you're reaching with your left hand. If you can't do this way, just lie on your right hand side and hold your left foot with your left hand. Okay? And then bring your right hand forward inside your right foot and just lean into this a little bit. Okay, trying to open up into the quads a little bit more. If it feels okay, bring this hand up on your knee. And this shoulder, bring it forward. And you should feel that slightly more intensely down the front of your thigh. Okay, maybe. Okay, everybody's different, but for me, for sure, after running, it's there. Bring this hand forward, turn your thumb face down, sweep it back, find your foot, and lift your chest. Okay, so both hands are drawing your heel towards your buttock, you're lifting your chest. Breathe, and gently let that go. Bring both hands down, inside, and from here, make circles with your hips. Walk your foot out a little bit wider, tuck underneath the back toe, move your heel towards the back of your rim, sink your hips, look forward, and in the hand that's beside your foot, inhale, reach up with that hand. And exhale, let it come down. Okay, try that again. Inhale, reach up with that hand. And exhale, coming down. Let your back knee come down, send your front leg back, open both knees wide. Touch your big toes together, hips back in your heels, elbows towards the floor, forehead towards the floor. Lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back towards your knees. Place your knees beside each other and let your hips rest on your heels again into this kneeling posture. Vajrasana is one of the names that kneeling's given in yoga. Okay. And then from there, can you lift your hips and take your left foot forward and lunge into this. Okay. See how that feels. Taking the foot a little wider. Good. Forward. Maybe little knee circles. Just see how everything's feeling, right? One thing we avoid is any pinchy pain. We're not looking for that. We're looking to gently just work with our bodies, okay? Good. And then when you want to bring your foot towards the front, inhale up with both arms. Exhale forward and down inside your foot. Moving things around from here, seeing how that's feeling. And then walk your hands towards your back knee. Bend it. Reach for your foot. Okay. Keep a hold of it. And then bring the other hand inside your front foot. Leaning into this. Noticing how it feels. And then if you can bring your hand on your thigh. Bring your hand on your thigh, and the shoulder of the hand that's holding your foot, draw it forward, okay? And your heel to your butt. It's really intense for if you've been out like doing a long run. So don't freak out too much, or just let it go, or do this lying on your side a bit more gently, okay? Take your hand that's on your thigh forward, turn your thumb face down, sweep it back, hold your foot, and lift your chest. Good, breathing into this. Okay. And gently releasing, letting your foot come down, bring both hands down inside your foot, maybe bring it a little wider, slide your back knee a little further back. These are all options. Good, maybe forwards, backwards, tuck underneath the toes of your back foot. Move your heel towards the back of the room, sink your hips down, turn to your front leg, and inhale up with the hand beside it. Great. Exhale, let it come down. Let it move around. Okay. Inhale up with the hand beside it. And exhale, let it come down. Bring your back knee down. Send your front leg back. Both hands back towards your knees. Sinking your hips into your heels. Good. Sitting, resting into kneeling position. And then if you have something that you can use for your hips, place your hips on a cushion. Draw your heels in. Do a little bit for our shoulders before we move into a more seated and still practice. So bring your hands towards your heart. Inhale, sit a little bit taller. Exhale, take your fingers forward. Push your palms out, tuck your chin in. Inhale, lift your hands all the way up. A little bit further back. Gently release them. Clasp them behind your back. Draw your fingers down towards the ground. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring them away from your lower back. Let your hands come down. Okay. Gently release that. Roll off your shoulders. Okay. Clasp your hands to your heart again. This time, look at the way you clasp your hands and clasp them with the other thumb at the top. So unclasp them, just the fingers, slide them up one digit and clasp. So it feels a bit weird, but all we've done is change our habit slightly. So bring your hands to your heart again. Inhale tall. Exhale, fingers forward, pushing your palms out, tucking your chin in. Inhale all the way up. Squeezing back, gently releasing, clasping your hands behind your back. Draw your fingers towards the floor. Bring them away from your lower back. And back down. Good. And shake off and release. Okay, so if this is your first time doing any practice with me, then you're really welcome. But generally we finish with a few minutes just sitting, okay? Or you can do this lying down. So if you want to lie down, please feel free to lie down. If you want to stay seated, stay seated. If you want to sit on a seat, sit on a seat. Allow your whole body to let go, okay? Maybe in your shoulders, in your face, in your jaw, in your belly. All these places that we can hold tension and resistance. And as you sit here, your mind will be doing 1,000 things, okay? So don't worry if your mind is here, there, and everywhere. What we're going to do is put our attention on our heart, okay? And every time you inhale, feel like your heart's expanding. Okay, or that area is expanding, or your awareness of that area is expanding. And every time you exhale, it's gathering back to the center. Every inhale, let your awareness of the area of your heart expand and open through your body. And as you exhale, gather your awareness back to the center. And if your mind is drifting to all sorts of other things, then gently invite it back to this moment. If you've got time to lie down, maybe lie down for a while. Really let yourself recover fully from whatever you've been doing today, whatever activities, or maybe you're about to go and do some big activity and this is kind of getting you opened up for that. Okay, thank you guys. We'll be back tomorrow for day 20, where we'll do a gentle strength building session. Some people have been asking about that. So so using the postures to develop more strength, more mobility, more freedom in our bodies, because we have these physical attributes. Connect your fingertips, base your palms. Om Shanti.